Okay, in the last video, I showed you how to manually configure variables that would cause checklist items to show up on a user's profile page. In this little video, I want to show you how to set up some triggering events that would cause that to happen automatically. And when I say happen automatically, what I really mean is that rather than you having to manually go in and open up a particular user and then check those variables off yourself, that some of those variables can be assigned to a user based on other things that happen, automatically in the system. I'm going to open Candidates Management, and at the third link over here on the left menu is Sync Status with Checklist Items, and that's where we're at right now. And this is where a little interface that we use for, and we can do this for each site in the system to create some rules that cause some triggering events for this to happen. So I'm going to add a new rule, and the user interface is pretty easy to use actually. We can name the rule anything that we want. I'm going to just say test. And then in this case, the rule is always based on the status of the user changing, and you can see all of our different user statuses. Like for instance, let's say that we had someone in the system who's a candidate, which means that we've approved them more or less to start looking for a job, and then ultimately to go through that process of applying for a job. And that's the status they had, and now they have actually applied for a job, and let's say that they've received the job, or at least they have received a commitment for the job, which makes them an appointee. And so if they go from a candidate to an appointee, all we do next is we say, when that happens, which one of these variables do we want to be checked off? For instance, selected for a job would make sense. And so if at this point, if they're selected for a job, what we're saying is when a user changes from candidate to appointee, automatically the system will check this particular checklist item off, thus causing any checklist items that have a match for that variable to show up automatically on that user's profile page. And I'll save and close, and it's just really as simple as that. So that's how you can pre-configure a workflow as users work their way through the system, changing from one status to another. Their status changes can trigger variables to be checked or unchecked on their profile, causing a different set of workflow items or checklist items to show up on their profile. So it's a really powerful tool.